Hello everyone, it's Miss Constantine here. Welcome to your Thursday, Friday lesson. Today we're going to be working on vocab for our 13 Colonies era unit. So we're wrapping up our geography unit. You will take your 50 states test or already took your 50 states test depending on which group you are and when you're doing this lesson. So that's kind of wrapping up our geography review portion of our content, and now we're moving on to do a little bit more history focus. So your at-home lessons will be more history focused, kind of mirroring what you're learning in class as well. So the first thing that we like to do is start off with some vocab. That way you're familiar with the new words that you're going to see throughout the unit. And when they come up in certain lessons, you can be like, oh my gosh, I know that word. I already know it. And you don't have to try to learn the word too. So we have 8 words today. What you're going to need to do is get 8 index cards out of your social studies folder. So 8 index cards. And we're going to be making flashcards, just like we did with the geography vocab unit. So 8 index cards, please. And we're going to get started. So these are our 8 words: debtor, colony, separatist, charter, descent, pacifist, plantation, cash crops. So these are our 8 new words. Maybe you know some of these already. Maybe some of them are new. I see a couple on here that you may have learned in 7th grade social studies if you were here at Decatur Middle School. So let's start with our first word. First word is debtor. Debtor. So I'm looking at the picture examples on this screen, and I have a little smiley face emoji just throwing money in the air like he's got plenty of it with a red line through it. I have a stack of money here and a big bag of cash here, but those have red lines through it as well. So I'm thinking that these are non-examples of what a debtor is. Then if I look over here, I see a Visa logo. Oh, that's a credit card. Picture of a house, the White House, this guy who looks like he's got a lot of money, and this little guy who's running away with things flying out of his briefcase. So what does a debtor mean? Well, a debtor is somebody who owes money to somebody who is in debt. So looking at these pictures here, I'm thinking, oh, these are all things that could put somebody in debt. A Visa is a credit card. So if you buy something on a credit card, that puts you in debt and you have to pay that back. If you spend $100 on a new pair of jeans and then you put it on your credit card, you have to pay that back that $100 to Visa, probably plus something we call interest, which is like a fee, and that's how Visa makes money. A house, your average American cannot afford to pay cash for a house, so they're going to take out a loan called a mortgage, and then they're going to pay that back each month until they pay off their loan. So a house can make you a debtor. Taxes, everybody owes the government taxes. If you don't pay it, that could make you a debtor. You could even be in debt to a person. So maybe you borrow $100 from your dad and he expects you to pay him back. That would make you a debtor. So grab your first index card. And remember, on the back, the side with lines, unless your index card is blank on both sides, then you're good to go. But on the back of your index card, the side with lines, you're going to write the definition. So the definition of debtor is one who owes money to a person or organization. One who owes money to a person or organization. That is your on the back of your flashcard, that is your definition for the word debtor. One who owes money to a person or organization. Give you a minute to write that down. All right, now we're going to flip that flashcard over. And on the front, you're going to draw a picture. So if you look at my example here, you see I have the vocab word at the top. So I'm going to write debtor at the top of the front of the flashcard. Remember to pick the blank side. If your flashcards have lines on one side, you need to write on the line side and draw the picture on the blank side. If you're really confused on how to do flashcards, please go back and watch the flashcard modeling video that we did during our geography review unit with our geographic terms. So again, on the blank side, you're going to write the word at the top, so write the word debtor at the top, and then underneath you're going to draw a picture that represents the word debtor. So here I have one hand handing another hand money. So perhaps this guy is the debtor paying back some money that he owes. That's probably what's going on here. So you're going to include a picture that remind you of what debtor is. Maybe you can put the Visa logo because it reminds you a credit card puts you in debt. Anytime you take out a loan to buy something expensive like a house or a car or a boat or something like that, that would make you a debtor. Anytime you borrow money. Student loans, if you decide to go to college, you might have to take out student loans. College is pretty expensive and it's hard to pay for it all at once. So if you take out a loan, anytime you borrow money, you become a debtor and you have to work on paying that money back. So again, the vocab word at the top and draw the picture underneath. I'm going to give you about 2 minutes to draw this picture and then we're going to move on to our next word. All right, great job. Let's move on to our next vocab word. So grab a new index card. Our next word is colony. So we're going to go through these next words a little bit quicker. I wanted to go through our first word, doing the front and the back, just to get you back into the practice of it and to remind you how to do it. So we're going to go through each of these much faster because now I think you have down the system, the vocab word and a picture on the front and the definition on the back. So a colony is a region ruled by a faraway government. Colony. So here are pictures. We have the 13 colonies. These are going to be what will turn into the original 13 states of the United States. But right now, they are the 13 colonies because they are going to be run by the country of Great Britain or England. So people are going to whoosha, 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 whoosha over the Atlantic Ocean from England, settle in these lands, but they are still going to be under the rule or command or government of the King of England or the British King. And that's what this flag over here represents. This is the flag of the 13 colonies. You see it has the stripes, just like we have on our American flag today, but where the 50 states normally would be, this is the British flag, so it represents that Great Britain rules over these 13 colonies. So again, this vocab word is colony, a region ruled by a faraway government. Now we'll move on to our next one. Separatist. The word is pronounced separatist. So you see it has the word separate as part of it. Separatist has the word separate in it, so separate. So separatists are Protestants who want to leave the Church of England and form a new church. So what I'm hearing is Protestants want to separate from the Church of England and form their own church. Protestants want to leave the Church of England. If you think back, the Church of England, where have you heard that before? Oh, the Church of England, that's the church that Henry VIII started. So, as a lot of you accurately guessed, Some people don't want to be part of the church that was started by Henry VIII and will continue on through many years to come. Even to today, the Church of England still exists. So some people are looking to leave that church and form a new church. So they are separatists, Protestants who want to leave the Church of England and form a new church. A great example of this that we'll see coming up are some people called the Pilgrims. I bet you've heard of them as well. So the Pilgrims are actually going to be separatists. They are going to come to the New World. They're going to whoosh, whoosh, whoosh across the ocean in hopes of starting a new church and leaving the Church of England, separating from the Church of England. Separatists. So my pictures here, I have a church with the English flag over it to represent the Church of England, and then an arrow and a boat whoosh, whoosh, whooshing away. So that is why the Pilgrims leave and come to what is now the United States, because they want to leave and form their own church. They are separatists. Our next word. All right, so we've gone through 3 words: debtor, colony, separatist. Our next word is going to be the word charter. Charter. And feel free to pause this at any time to get caught up. But the next word is the word charter. So a charter is a document that gives a person the right to organize a colony or settlement in the New World. So if we think back to the Pilgrims again, the Pilgrims were separatists who were leaving England to come to the New World to form their own colony. Ooh, there's another vocab word, to form their own settlements. So they were coming to form their own town where they could practice the religion that they wanted and live life separately from the King of England and the Church of England. But in order to do that, you're going to need a charter. You're going to need written permission from your king or queen, or from a company who's going to give you money to go start a colony. So you're going to need a charter. And we'll dive deeper into this word charter. I just need you to have some background knowledge, so when it comes up in some of our lessons, you'll be like, oh, okay, I kind of know what that is. That's permission to start a colony, and we can dive a little deeper into this. So a charter, a document that gives a person the right to organize a colony or settlement in the New World. Charter. Our next word, descent. This is a word that's still used all the time, especially right now in the United States, where we have a lot of dissents. People disagree a lot. So dissent is a disagreement. A disagreement. So you can see we have a lot of pictures here that show a disagreement. A thumbs up, thumbs down. You either click that you like it or don't like it on a YouTube video or on a post on social media. We have these 2 guys who look very angry. The guys in the middle, they look like they are having some massive dissent, a major disagreement. Then we have, this is kind of a fun picture. From where this guy is standing, it looks like there are 4 lines, but from where this guy is standing, it looks like there are 3. And it's just kind of an optical illusion, but it also shows dissent, a disagreement. And these little guys are also disagreeing, yes and no. So, dissent is a disagreement. A disagreement. Pacifist. Pacifist. A pacifist is someone who is against violence. So you may see a couple of familiar faces here. We have Gandhi and we have Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Both of these men wanted change to happen in their nations. They both were fighting for major change to occur. However, they were pacifists. They were against using violence to make those changes happen. They were against using arming themselves, using guns. They were against attacking. They were against causing bloodshed in order for the change to happen. They believed in a non-violent approach. So a pacifist is someone who is against violence. I like to remember it as a pacifist is someone who passes on using their fist. Get it? Right? Pretty clever. So a pacifist is someone who is against violence. So for your picture on your flashcard, here we have a gun with a red line through it, meaning no guns allowed, non-violence. War is not the answer. Obviously, a dove is a symbol of peace. And then we have these two great men who were very important pacifists in our history, in the history of the world. And maybe a picture of them would be a great reminder. Oh, so you can put them on your index card, or something more simple like that if you're not great at drawing people. You could put a stick figure and label it Dr. King. That would be just fine. But just remember, a pacifist is someone who is against violence. Woohoo! Going pretty quickly today. So we've done debtor, colony, separatist, charter, dissent, pacifist. 2 more words. 2 more words. 2 more words. All right. So this next word you might be familiar with, but just in case, it's the word plantation. So plantation is a large-scale farm or estate worked by slave labor and produces cash crops. It's okay if you don't know what cash crops are, because that's the next word. But a plantation is a large-scale farm or estate worked by slave labor and produces cash crops. So a plantation is a huge farm, primarily worked by slaves, not worked by the owners of the farm themselves, usually worked by slaves, and slaves are run by something called an overseer, or somebody who is in charge, who is paid to manage the slaves. And then it produces something called cash crops. So cash crops, we're going to see on the next slide, are crops that are for profit. This is not a small farm where the farmer is growing crops to feed his family and maybe just sell a little bit at a farmer's market. These are huge farms that produce a lot of one item. Maybe it's rice, maybe it's cotton, maybe it's corn, and they produce a huge amount of it because they're looking to make a profit. They're looking to make some money, lots of money. So you can see in this picture, this is an example of a cotton plantation. We have a huge field in front of us of cotton, more back here. I would guess that there are even more and more and more acres of cotton around this plantation. And all that cotton cannot be used by the owner himself. Look, we have huge bales of cotton right here on the cart as well. So the owner doesn't need all this cotton, and he's growing this large amount of cotton in order to sell it for a profit. Sell it for a profit. So a plantation, a large farm or estate worked by slave labor and produces cash crops. Plantation. This word is going to come up a lot this unit and for the rest of the school year. One more word, here we go. The last word is cash crops. And these are farm crops raised to be sold for a profit. Farm crops raised to be sold for a profit. So again, if we're talking about a small family farm back in the 13 colonies, they may have a few animals and a small garden, and that's going to be just enough for the family to live on. It's going to produce enough corn and lettuce and vegetables and things of that nature so the family can eat and survive and has enough to store for the winter and all of those things. That would be just a regular farm. But a cash crop is when 1 or 2 crops are grown on something like a plantation on a huge farm, and they're grown in a big quantity or a big amount, so much so that the owner doesn't need all of that, and they are sold for a profit. So this is where people are trying to make money off of farming rather than just farm enough to survive and take care of their family. So we have a picture of a cornfield there on the left. Right here is a picture of a cornfield, and this is actually a picture of sugar cane. If you haven't seen sugar cane before, this is what it looks like before it becomes sugar. It grows in these large stalks like this. And in the West Indies or the Bahamas, that where Christopher Columbus settled first, sugar grows really well. So we're going to see a lot of large sugar plantations are going to come up as more and more people come whoosha across the Atlantic Ocean from Spain and settle in the Bahamas, just like Christopher Columbus. He went back and told them about these islands. So we're going to see that sugar plantations are going to take off, be very popular, and are going to be worked by enslaved Native Americans from those islands. But cash crops are crops that are going to be sold for a profit. So think this word profit. Profit is when you make money. And the word cash is obviously money, so use that to help you remember the definition. Farm crops that are raised to be sold for a profit. All right, great job today. So you should have 8 vocabulary flashcards when you're done. Debtor, colony, separatist, charter, descent, pacifist, plantation, cash crops. 8 when you're done. Please make sure that you have completed them the right way. Vocabulary, word, and picture on the front, definition on the back, and you will submit your flashcards in 2 pictures. You'll put them all flat on the table or something all together, submit a picture of the front, your vocab word and picture, and then flip them over and submit a second picture of the definitions on the back. So 2 photo submissions, 8 flashcards total. If you have any questions, please reach out to your social studies teacher, and we are happy to help you. Please stay caught up on your work. If you need any help, reach out. We are happy to help you. We want to make sure that you guys are learning every single day, Monday through Friday, whether we get to see you in person or not. You guys have a great day. Thanks for working hard. Take care.